Phil and Will are back, and we just had our 2-hour episode of Survivor. Very exciting one. We finally got the blue collar tribe going to tribal. We got a tribe swap. We got a pretty cool blindside. We weren't too blindsided, but the audience was. Willie, I know you're a huge Giants fan, big Jeff Kent fan, but I think we might have somebody more famous on the show than Jeff Kent this year. Tom Brady is actually on the show. How do you feel about that?
I don't even think Jeff Kenson had that title anyway, so I don't think that's taking anything away. But yeah, Tom Brady is here, folks.
No, I just knew you were a Giants fan. I wanted to make it relatable to you. But yeah,
Well,
we both went
we're
to Miami.
Miami Hurricanes too. So Jimmy Johnson obviously coached us to a national championship.
But yeah, Tom Brady's
We're
here.
talking about Survivor. We're talking about Survivor. This episode had it all. Man, I'm pretty mad that Max went home. I had him pretty high in my power rankings, which I shouldn't have had clearly. But Shireen had to be more annoying. I know they were doing this horse race thing. Jen nailed it on the head. Like, who's more annoying? I really thought Shireen was more annoying. She comes off more annoying. I know Max is pompous and tries, like, he brags about how much he knows about the game, but he's got to help you a little bit in challenges, right? I mean, I was expecting it to be Shireen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I was hoping Shireen went. I think we should get into that later, though. We got to do this first episode because the first episode was great. We finally got blue collar.
I know. I just have to talk about, like, I can't believe.
I'm frustrated. I am.
I'm okay with it because it was so good, and it's like funny that Max went home pre-merge. Like I'm totally cool with that. But Shireen got on my nerves a lot this episode. Like I hate. I wish I could trade her to the Phantom Tribe right now. Like I have her on my fantasy team. I don't know what to do with Shireen. I'll talk about it as we go through it. But man, not a Shireen fan at all.
We both had Max very, very high on our boot list, so we're struggling a little bit on those now. You had him in second, I had him in fourth.
Everyone had him high.
Most people did.
It was like everyone had him like either in like the top four mainly. Not everybody, but probably 75% of people had Max in the top, placing in the top four. So a lot of points given out tonight. And then on the reverse side, most people had Lindsay going out as one of the first four. About 75% of people. So kind of evened out there.
Yeah, but let's talk about the episode that led to Lindsay's boot. Let's start off from the top.
Okay, so it was no caller. It was no caller who got the first scene, and they were just coming back from tribal, and nothing really happened. It was just Will was like, "Why did I get votes?" and they pretty much were like, "Yeah, if Nina had an idol." I mean, we thought it was maybe had something to do with Haley kind of respecting Nina and not wanting to write her name down. They were just doing it to split votes for the idol, and like that makes sense. That's all good. Yeah, nothing really else happened in that first scene.
No, that was really it. And then what Will said, like, this is what we wanted the whole time anyway. This is our crew, or was that even later in the show?
What do you mean, like when they're talking about this is our four that we wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Jen, Haley, and Joe are tighter than, like, Will definitely is on the outs there. But now that the tribes are swapped, Will is in good with Jen and Haley. Like, I don't worry for him at all.
No, I don't think that the tribe swap helped anybody more than Will, other than probably Sierra. The two of them were helped the most by it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we have the snake. This was a good survival aspect moment, and it was cool. They caught and ate a snake, and then we saw Rodney and Mike bond over it. Oh, that was great to see that it wasn't this constant yelling like it was last episode.
Yeah, I like this, and it was cool to see like Kelly getting in on the action because this was Kelly's coming out party this episode, and that's really what started off the episode. You know, her peeling the snake, and like they were pretty graphic with that, man. I can't believe they showed all that on TV.
Awesome.
I was shocked.
And as much as we keep talking about, like, we like this snake and the survival aspects, I just can't stop thinking about the votes and what happened. But
I want your opinion on one thing here. This doesn't have to do with the votes or anything. Are they setting up Mike to get like a gross eating challenge and just puke it up all over the place? Because I feel like they are. Like, they keep showing him eating all this nasty shit, and I think he's going to puke it up.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, the dude eats a scorpion on the first day, and now he catches a snake, peels its skin off, cooks it, eats it, all good. He's hungry. How do you not show that? I don't think they're setting up anything. I think it's like those are two, like he's eating a scorpion and he's eating a snake. This is a show called Survivor. We want to play that up. you can't not show that. I don't think there's any foreshadowing or editing going on with this.
And to me, Mike's becoming a little bit more of a favorite. He's becoming a lot more likable, at least in my book. I really do like Mike a lot more after tonight.
Yeah, and we'll talk about when Blue Collar goes to Tribal, but some funny stuff kind of happened really rapid fire right as they before they went. But we'll get into that. The first challenge, we had a reward challenge for the first time. Solely a reward challenge. There's no immunity in this. And Blue Collar loses, and I think, Phil, you probably thought the same thing as I did. Oh, my God, I wish this would have been an immunity challenge. You would have gotten Blue Collar go to Tribal. Thank God they did later. But, what do you think of this first challenge?
I mean, I was waiting for the injury because I knew it was going to happen in this challenge because they showed it last week. So I really wasn't paying attention so much. I knew that it was for reward. I wish it would have been for immunity, too, because I was like, oh, man, there's Blue Collar's lost. Now they're going to be fine. But I knew that the injury was coming, especially since they never cut the commercial and did their little like half-ass promos that they do now. And I'm just sitting there waiting and waiting. I didn't even know who was winning when Kelly got hit in the head. I just saw all the blood coming through her buff, and there was like a good amount of blood coming out of her head.
There was a lot. But you didn't know, I mean, Jen and Haley were just shredding through that course. Joe, I guess, I didn't really hear Joe yell much. They didn't really show him yelling. But No Collar had that challenge wrapped up pretty early, even at that point. But yeah, so much blood covering the buff. Kudos to Kelly, and she kept the thing on. They didn't even let her take it off to like get her balance or get her bearing straight. They just said, no, keep it on. We'll patch it up and then go on. So go ahead. Total baller move by Kelly. I mean, that's MVP stuff right there.
That really is. And Kelly's going to be my MVP now. If you want to like put a ding in, and I'll like point my finger up. But like when that happened, I'm sitting there and I'm like, she's going to keep doing this challenge. Lindsay was more freaked out than Kelly was because you got to be freaked out if you're Lindsay. You're chained to this girl. You know she just got hit in the head with something, but you can't see her. Jeff is screaming for medical. Sierra's screaming that she's bleeding. Like, if I'm Lindsay, I'm like, damn, I'm ripping this blindfold off. I want to know what the hell this girl looks like right now. Like, Kelly looked like there was a lot of blood going on there. If Lindsay pulls a blindfold off and sees that. Cut. I mean, that was deep. I've cut my head open twice, like right in like the same location. And I mean, it just keeps bleeding. It doesn't stop. I mean, but she kept doing the challenge. Kelly went crazy with that.
Yeah,
she was awesome.
Good for her. I've only gotten stitches once on my face before. Actually, that's the only time I've ever gotten stitches. But it's kind of a funny story, so I'll share it. I was in the shower, and it's one of those shower heads that you can like remove the head, and it was just in there, and it just mid shower just swung down, got me right in the nose. Blood just went everywhere. And that hurt, and I was definitely out of it for a little bit. So, like, kudos to Kelly. Like, seriously, just keeping the blindfold on and then going through the challenge. Although, I mean, Jeff, it was foreshadowed heavily. Like, he kept saying, watch out, watch out. Be careful while lowering the thing. I mean, he kept saying that. So I guess, I mean, they should have kind of gotten out of the way or paid attention.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're just going to show you all the clips of Jeff saying it, which I think they showed 3 clips, and he probably said it 3 times, and they were probably out there for longer. They were probably out there for, like, a pretty good amount of time. But, I mean, they were just letting go of it and just letting it fly. Like, if I'm blindfolded, I mean, I'm not going to be like Jatia and not know how to put a flag down. But, I mean, I'm going to, like, inch that thing down. I'm not just letting go and letting it fall wherever it's going. Like, I mean, I'd be scared it was going to crack me in the head. So, I mean, maybe I'm just paranoid, but...
No, exactly. It was. I mean, we've seen this challenge before, and that hasn't really been an issue. Wheeling it up and then letting it go. But it kept bouncing all over the place, kind of kooky. Like I said, good job to Kelly. Anything else on the challenge?
No, and then I mean, of course, though, when you get chickens, you get the whole I'm a vegetarian thing. And my God, Jen, I thought you've watched the show for so long. What are you doing? Like, why are you even drawing attention to it?
It worked out perfect. At first, I was like, Jen, don't cry about it. Like, just walk away if it really bugs you. And she didn't say she was a vegetarian. I just don't think she like eats meat all that much, which is, some people don't like meat. Don't get attached. And this was like the first day they got them. It's not like they've had them at camp living. We've seen that before. Where
it wasn't Kimmy Cabot.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. The chickens are there for like a week, and then they kill one, and yeah, like you can become friends with an animal. They become companions, especially when you're out there with nobody. They brought it back from the challenge immediately. It's like, what, they have 3 or 4 of them?
I want to say 3,
3
but
hens and 1 rooster, or 2 hens, 1 rooster?
I don't know. But you kill the rooster every time. Like I don't understand why.
No,
I mean,
'cause
that's
you need
always
the rooster to like get the eggs, right? Like, I mean, I know the eggs come from the hens, but to
this is
mate.
the brains, brawn, and beauty conversation that Jeffra had with LJ, and LJ made fun of her quite hard about it. But yeah, I mean, I guess you need the rooster, but they always kill the rooster. What I'm saying is they always kill the rooster every season because the thing's loud, it's annoying, and they always end up killing it right away anyway.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we failed at science before on this podcast.
By the way, timeout. By the way, timeout. Yeah, before we start offending people for calling scorpions reptiles and not arachnids, before we start doing that, what I'm going to say here is you don't need the rooster because the rooster would fertilize the egg and therefore a chick would come out. All they need here is the egg. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If it's not,
right?
I was
See,
a film major. I have no idea.
Exactly. But anyway, Jen then, like, she goes in the woods. Like, then they had a shot of her deep into the woods, sitting alone. I was like, oh no, is this going to be a pout thing? And then, boom, right away, confessional saying, this is the perfect time to look for the idol. I'm like, wow, that is, like, just perfect. Why is she looking in the woods? Oh, she wants to be alone. She, is attached to the chicken. We haven't seen anyone do that before. That was a great move.
That was perfect, and she saved herself because I was sitting there and I'm like, come on, Jen. Like, you say you've watched this since you were a little kid. If you watch it, you know you never ostracize yourself like that. But it was almost like instead of her drawing attention to the fact that she hates him, like Kimmy did back in Australia, she was just like, I'm going to use this as an opportunity. She finds the idol pretty quickly because, once again, they're way too easy to find. But
well, also, at this point, there's so much to show. They're not going to show people looking for the idol and not finding it. It's just a waste of time. We don't want to see people just looking in trees and bushes for even a minute. Like, we can't have a minute of this like great season wasted on someone not finding the idol. So whenever you get those confessionals, like, yeah, I'm gonna look, and they spend a good amount of time, we knew Jen was gonna find it like the moment she said, oh, I thought this was a good time to look for the idol. Like, we knew that was coming. Haley took notice. She said, wow, Jen's been gone for a while. We don't know if Jen ever told Haley about the idol. We assume they would show us that.
Yeah, I'm assuming they would show you, but I also think like Haley being the one who noticed, that's a good thing for Jen because they're clearly the tightest, and now they're still in the same tribe again. I don't think Haley's going to say to anybody, I wonder if Jen has the idol, because she's probably assuming her and Jen, that's the closest alliance we have in this game. Why would she not just be like, yeah, she would approach Jen before she would approach somebody else is what I'm thinking.
Right. Okay, anything else for this no-collar chicken idol thing?
No, go Jen, though. I mean, I'm happy with Jen. We still love Jen. My
MVP candidate nominee, although it's hard not to give it to Kelly for what she did this episode and in the next episode. Yeah. But yeah, she's out there. If you want to vote for Jen, feel free. Vote for Jen for MVP. I could certainly use the points. Okay, then we got a blue-collar scene, and it was just Rodney and Lindsay fighting over just, like, I don't even really know what, just points of view on things. Like, this seems so, like, we thought they were kind of tight for the first 3 episodes. They were kind of always sitting together, bonding. What was this?
Here's what I think is funny. The first episode, Rodney goes up to Lindsay, and then he goes to a confessional. He's like, any girl who wants to put ink on her body, she has to express herself. I love that in a woman. And tonight he's calling her Mike Tyson and saying how much he hates her. Who gets a tattoo on their face? They clearly have issues. Like, you were praising her for the tattoos. Now you're making fun of her for the tattoos. We thought that they were the tightest.
Tattoo. What's that? It's the face tattoo. That's what he's talking about is crazy. He's okay with the other tattoos. I'm just trying to let you know Rodney's thinking here.
I mean, he's still pimping out his dead sister. Like, seriously, with the tattoo of his dead sister. Like, he really is playing that up. Pimping out was the wrong use, but he really is.
Joe asked him, I think. Joe was like, where's that ink from? Or he said, what does it say? You can't just, clam up and say, I don't want to talk about it. It's a tattoo. It's on your body. He read it. I think, Joaquin loves it. Joaquin and Rodney are going to have romance. That's going to be great to see. Let's stick to the topic at hand, though. This Lindsay and Rodney fight, they fall out. Not really much else to talk about. They fall out.
I just don't get it. Like I really just can't understand why they didn't understand to just keep your mouth shut. Like what Lindsay kept going on about, like, yeah, Rodney, okay, Rodney was being chauvinistic. Whatever. He's, saying women should keep themselves to a higher respect. I don't think Rodney means it in as bad of a way as he comes across. I think he's good-hearted about it. But Lindsay just, like, if you're Lindsay, you have to sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to go pull Mike and Dan aside like she did later on in the episode and say, like she did to Dan, he does not like women. He does not respect women. I want him gone. Don't keep yelling at him in front of the whole tribe. You're just drawing attention to yourself, and it's making him look like less of a bad guy. Make him look bad. Don't start yelling.
Yeah, yelling at any time, it draws so much attention, and it does no good, really. It's like, and Rodney was treating it like nothing, too, which makes him look so much better. Lindsay was the one just getting really irritated over something. I mean, I can see if someone's yelling at you for work. Like, that could really bug you. This is just someone who has a different opinion than you. Whether you agree with it, if it's wrong or not, like, just, you got to let that stuff go. And that's a big reason why she ended up going home. Yeah. Then we get to White Collar, and guess what? Shireen is being annoying again. She talks about how she practiced killing a chicken by killing a rabbit. Joaquin has the great confessional about her being some type of murderer or serial killer. That was all good. And then this just painted the picture that Shireen is getting on people's nerves still. It wasn't just the monkey sex. It is a continued behavior by Shireen.
But, man, how funny was Joaquin's confessional? I was laughing so hard. He was not like, you stay over there, Psycho. You stay over there. Like,
he's Joaquin, great. I love Joaquin. Like, I wish he was on my fantasy tribe. I wish I could make that trade right now. Shireen for Joaquin.
He's really bringing it. And you know what? I wish that I mean, I don't know if I should wish this, but the way Rodney's playing, I don't think he's going to win. But he is a perfect GOAT right now, man. He really is. Like, people, and it seems like people are kind of, liking Rodney a little bit. At least, like, Joaquin. I mean, Joaquin's something. Joaquin's killing me right now. I know we got to stay on that topic, but Joaquin is absolutely killing me. With that confessional, I mean, where was this guy's personality in the pre-show stuff? Like, he was very arrogant. That's all we got from him, and it seems like now he's starting to go more towards.
He still is arrogant. He's just having more to talk about. Like, if you give an arrogant guy a minute, 30-second clip to talk about himself, that's all that's going to come out. If you put him in a setting with other people and context, like, he could make it really funny, and that's what he's doing, and he's great television.
Yeah, what I'm saying is he was just so arrogant at the beginning. Now I feel like he's arrogant, but he's being more like himself. At the beginning where he was trying to play a role, now he's just kind of like, you know what? I'm here. I'm with these weird people. I'm just going to keep talking about it to the cameras. And he's doing a hell of a job with it. I'm loving every second of it.
I agree. And then Carolyn got upset because Max said maybe we shouldn't sit out Shireen because Shireen might get upset, all this kind of sitting out drama that we see. My takeaway from this was it looks like Max and Shireen are actually as tight as we thought. I mean, we didn't really know. We haven't seen exactly how they get naked together. Yeah, sure, that can tell you one thing. This kind of solidified it for me with Joaquin, Tyler, and Carolyn in the shelter, and then kind of, Max leaves. Carolyn's like, let's get Max out. Like, boom. So that kind of put that right there. Max and Shireen are on the outs. Joaquin totally floated to the top. So good for him.
Yeah, I don't understand why Max felt like he had to open his mouth. I get that Shireen's in your alliance, but do you really have to open your mouth and like constantly defend her? And then like it's kind of like it rubbed Carolyn the wrong way and really led to his downfall at the end, because I don't know where Kelly stood, but it seemed like Kelly was more in line to stick with the white collar people. They attacked her first, and it really did seem like it was set up.
Well, I don't think that was like led to Max's downfall, that one comment. I think Max is annoying, clearly. I mean, even later, Will was saying, man, Max is just annoying. He just gets on my nerves. And it's like Will is just a happy, like, go-lucky dude. It's like, Max, you have to be a little more social and realize how the effect you're having on other people. But certainly that was clear from that point. Carolyn was not with Shireen and Max. So that was set up nicely. And then we have the immunity challenge. And Shireen does end up sitting out. And this challenge was a really cool challenge. I thought that maze at the end with the ball lifting, that was something we haven't really seen before, really unique. The only thing I can kind of think was similar in Cagayan, where they had that rotating maze with the ball, but that was pretty different. So this was cool to see, like a unique challenge.
Yeah, I think that I've been reading online that I think this was from Big Brother actually. It was like very similar to Big Brother, that puzzle. But I really like the way this whole challenge was set up, where Will and Rodney just could not understand like when they're yelling at Rodney, go under the rope, go under the rope. He looks like a deer in headlights. Like he could not figure out what they meant by go under the rope. And then Will, if that guy has like a rope and like a post that he has to maneuver around, I don't think he can ever figure it out. He couldn't do it in water. He couldn't do it on land. Like, come on, Will. Like, figure this out. Like, he really couldn't do it. I don't know, but it was a great challenge.
I mean, has there been a challenge where Will? I know he didn't cost them the challenge there, but Will hasn't really performed well in any of these challenges.
Well, I remember when they first went to Tribal, he said water is the black man kryptonite. And I said to you, I don't think it had anything to do with the water because he was fine swimming. It was bad when he was going through the thing. It had nothing to do with the water because he couldn't do it on land either. He was struggling just as bad.
I defended him too. I was like, I bet if you see Will try to do that on land, I bet he gets it. And then he, proved me wrong today. But I'm so glad he's still in the game. He wasn't even on the block. I'm liking Will more and more. Okay, so the challenge ends and Sierra gets the Rodney needs to go home. Immediate post-tribal confessional. We saw that. Will saying that about Nina last week, and because Nina's came true, right when Sierra said that about Rodney, I was like, okay, they're not going to do this in back-to-back weeks. Rodney's safe.
But at the same time, they normally never do it at all. Like, normally, whenever they say somebody's going, they're not. So the fact that they did it with Nina last week, I was like, could Rodney actually go home? Like, that would be so random for them to, like, never do it in any other season. Now, all of a sudden, they do it back-to-back.
There's always a confessional after the challenge saying, blah, 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 this person needs to go. And you're right, it rarely does actually happen, but it has before. And so with Nina last week, I kind of felt Rodney was safe.
Yeah, what kind of I thought was funny about this is we thought the whole time it was Lindsay and Rodney, Mike and Dan, and then Kelly and Sierra were in the middle. Tonight it looked like it was more of Mike and Kelly, but Kelly's storyline didn't need to pick up till now. Sierra and Lindsay, and then Rodney was actually in the middle.
Yeah, it was so this blue-collar tribal, the pre-tribal segment, it just kept like coming and coming. First it was like Dan, or Mike or Rodney said like, yeah, Lindsay and Sierra have completely isolated themselves as a duo. And while we kind of got that from the first 3 episodes, that wasn't definitely not an obvious thing because we didn't really hear from Kelly or Sierra at all. So we just knew Lindsay was kind of tight. Like, did that kind of surprise you when they said they isolated themselves as a duo?
Yeah, it did because the whole time that we'd seen everybody arguing, yeah, Kelly and Lindsay and Sierra were constantly together, but we didn't hear enough from Sierra, and then we didn't hear Lindsay always saying like, me and Sierra, she's my girl, the way Ronnie would be like, yeah, he's my boy. Like, we didn't get any of that. So I don't really know where that came from. Like, yeah. It seemed out of nowhere.
It did. It seemed really out of nowhere. And then what seemed even more out of nowhere was Kelly, Mike, Dan, and Rodney hanging out on the water, and then someone, I forget who said it, they're like, yeah, we have this strong 4. And it's like, whoa, what? Strong 4? You guys have been at each other's throats the past 3 episodes, and now supposedly we're to believe these 2 characters have isolated themselves. You 4 are really tight. I mean, okay, it kind of came out of nowhere. And not saying that's not how it happened. I was just very caught off guard with like this. How strong can that 4 be? I mean, I was very surprised by that.
I agree with you. I mean, you would think that if that was as strong of a 4 as it is, they would have shown it way earlier. Or like, I mean, they wouldn't show Rodney and Dan yelling at each other, Rodney and Mike yelling at each other. You think they would have shown more camaraderie. But once again, this comes back to what they showed last week. When guys fight, give them 20 minutes and they're fine. They argue with each other and they're friends.
Yeah, Rodney. Yeah, exactly. And then it just kept getting weirder. Kelly was sitting by the fire, and I think Mike walks up, and they're like, I don't know about Rodney, and we kind of got this vibe. Wait, Mike and Kelly are like super tight. She even said that we're tight. They're the swing votes all of a sudden when we really thought it was going to be Mike and Dan on one side, Lindsay and Rodney on the other side. and then in the middle would be Sierra and Kelly. And someone even commented that, like Tara Stacy commented on our last video saying, "Do you think Kelly and Sierra hold the cards as the swing votes?" And we agreed, yeah. But I guess it was Mike and Kelly the whole time.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm glad we got to see so much of Kelly and Sierra tonight because we didn't know where they stood until tonight. And tonight they were both a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed pretty much what they were saying because it all made sense. It really did. Nobody on this season doesn't make much sense, if that means anything. The only one who might not make any sense, Shireen. I was going to say Shireen.
Any sense.
Shireen makes no sense. Okay, I was going to say except Shireen. And then Rodney sometimes. I think Rodney's kind of playing to the cameras a little bit. I really do. I mean, that Tom Brady thing was hysterical, but come on. Like, like what did he say? Why did he say he was Tom Brady? Why did he say that?
Because he's like the quarterback. He's the master. He's the Hall of Famer. He's the stud. I mean, whatever. What have you.
I just didn't know why he said it. Because he's from Boston. Like, that's all I knew.
He favorited our tweet, right?
He did. He favorited our. We got Rodney to favorite our tweet. So
what did it say again? You wrote it.
It just said I knew Rodney looked familiar, and then I just hashtagged I'm Tom Brady because I mean I did not know where that was coming from. Like I just didn't know where it was coming from. You know, like,
kudos on the tweet. That's good stuff.
He didn't win, so I was confused.
What do you mean Tom Brady didn't win?
No, Rodney didn't win. Like he didn't win anything yet. It's like winning a first-round game.
Right.
First game of the season.
Right. Okay, so then they go to Tribal Council. Lindsay gets the boot. Wasn't really surprised by this at all. They had that like Rodney red herring, but then they did split the votes at first on Sierra, and then I mean it was pretty standard, pretty typical.
I mean, I was just surprised that they didn't show us that they were going to split the votes because then I think they wanted to kind of create a little bit of drama where it was like, well, will Kelly just vote out Rodney now? You know, I don't think they wanted you to know that they were going to split the votes. Maybe Kelly voted for Sierra. Maybe Kelly was actually going to vote out Rodney. I think they wanted to keep that thought in your head. I wasn't surprised when Lindsay went. As soon as Blue Collar lost, and after we heard that Mike and Kelly were as tight as they were, I was like, yeah, there's no way Lindsay survives this vote. And, I mean, Lindsay was good TV. She was negative as anything, but she was good TV. I liked watching Lindsay. I'm not mad. You know, I thought she was going to be a total bust this season, but I liked Lindsay. Not liked her.
Yeah,
but I liked her character.
Brought like good stuff to the table.
Yeah.
I don't fault her for really anything. I mean, she just kind of yelled and had too many arguments.
Yeah.
But so when I saw Sierra's name coming up didn't really shock me. I didn't think she was going home. I knew it was just to kind of avoid an idol, which seems to be kind of everyone's doing on every vote these days. But they get back to camp, and it's like, Dan and Rodney, why can't you just say, look, Sierra, we like you. We just had to split the votes in case of an idol. Is that hard to say, Phil?
Well, Haley said it earlier. Like, why can't they all just be like Haley? I'm telling you, Haley's getting the winners at it. I don't know why they can't all just be like Haley. All she said to Will was, we like you. We just wanted to make sure that if an idol got played, none of the three of us went home. And Will was like, you know what? I am the last man on the totem pole. I know that. But I can work into this. I'm glad you guys were honest with me. You liked me more than Nina. They were like, yeah, we wanted you gone just as much as we wanted Lindsay gone. It's like, no, you didn't. That's why Lindsay's gone. Just tell Sierra that it was just to protect you guys. Like, they didn't sugarcoat anything, and then they just kept ramming into her. Like, terrible. But it did set up the worst apology of all time later on in the episode. But we can get to that later.
Yeah, that was perfect. I mean, this episode had some really funny moments. But yeah, I mean, even then Sierra didn't need to blow up, but like she kind of had a reason to. Just like idol, blame it on the idol, you know.
And we don't get to see all of it. I'm sure they were going into her for a while. I mean, she was crying, I think, and like she seems like she's like a pretty strong-willed person, a strong woman, like, and she was crying over it. Like, it's hard to make like a 27-year-old girl cry. So like, come on, like they were obviously really ramming into her, and she already didn't like Rodney to begin with, so.
Right, and I guess we'll mention just like good job by Mike trying to like help at all. I don't think he did, but yeah, Dan and Rodney just terrible gameplay, and it hasn't come back to bite them yet, but it very well could down the road. Okay, then we get to the reward challenge, and this is right at the start of the second segment of the episode. So they like do their helicopter shot or whatever, and it looks like it's set up for 3 tribes. And I was kind of like, wait a second, there has to be a tribe swap. We've seen the previews. Drop Your Buffs is coming. Why are there still 3, places for everyone to, compete, like 3 slingshots?
Yeah, and we were texting back and forth saying, is it going to actually be a 3-tribe swap? Because we've never seen that, and it just seems like it would be like a kind of random thing to do, and it'd be hard to keep it like randomized. That would be kind of cool just to see it happen once, but why did they set up 3 post things? Like, I get setting up 3 mats to throw them off, but why did they set up the 3 actual slingshots? Like, was it just that easy to set up, and they're like, let's fool them? I mean, I feel like that's a kind of expensive fool.
Not even like expensive, but if this was like Survivor Africa and there had never been a tribe swap before, go out and do it. Fool them all the way. But this is Survivor 30. They know there's a tribe swap coming, so by putting that extra slingshot in there, that post, it's like you're literally doing that to fool them for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I didn't really see. And then when we came back from commercial and they're like, we're going down to 3 tribes to 2 tribes, I'm like, okay, thank God. Because 3 tribes would be a little crazy with the numbers. I mean,
I don't feel like enough would change. You might get 2 from one tribe, 2 from one tribe, and 1, and then you'd have like one tribe that would be so unevenly stacked. I don't think that it would have worked out well. But with the 2 tribes, is it funny that on the last season where there were 3 tribes that went into 2, the swing vote on one of the tribes on a 3-3, and they were the only one there, was a cop? Like, are they doing this on purpose? Like, are they trying to show off undercover cops? Sarah last time. This time we get Kelly.
Well, yeah. Well, all right. Well, that challenge wasn't much. Like, we've seen it before. Some cool lacrosse sticks in there. I used to play lacrosse, so that was cool to see, I guess. Challenge was whatever.
Lost a tooth last time, or the one time they did it, so that's like all I remember it for. It's never really that exciting of a challenge.
Right. I mean, it's some cool plays sometimes, but not much. Okay. So we get back to the red tribe. I'm just gonna call them red and blue. I know.
Do you want to talk about these tribes real quick though? Like, before we do anything, when they stepped on those mats and those were the 2 tribes, what went through your head?
Not much. I mean, I thought Max and Shireen were in immediate danger because I knew they had Carolyn with them. I knew Carolyn was just so fed up with them that she was not going to stay with them. So I feared for them. On the other side of things, I was like, okay, Sierra, this is your perfect opportunity to flip. Rodney, Dan, and Mike are going to have some work cut out for them. That was like the first impressions.
My first impression was, thank God there's probably only going to be 2 episodes till the merge. That was my first impression. Because I feel like that tribe swap could not have worked out any worse from a challenge perspective, especially if they're not going to throw puzzles in at the end like they did with this one.
Oh, don't even.
Long next.
Yeah, we'll talk about that challenge.
Obvious. There was no way Escameca, or we can call him Blue, just not blue collar, because blue collar, no collar, white collar, we're never going to hear anybody say it again. But
they did do a good job of shoving it down our throats that one last episode.
And then they didn't really do it the next one.
Right, they couldn't.
Yeah, but that whole blue tribe, I mean, I looked at that, I was like, okay, you got Rodney and Joaquin, you got Tyler, you got Mike, you got Sierra, who's maybe Sierra and Kelly, they're probably the 2 strongest females. And then you got Dan, yeah, he's just a big body. And then who is 7? Why can't I think of who? Oh, and Joe. Are you kidding me? Like, how are they ever going to lose anything? Joe's proven to be one of the best at puzzles and the best at whatever the hell this little thing is. I mean, come on.
We'll get into the challenge. That challenge was appalling. I don't care how uneven the tribes are. We'll get into that. But let's head back to the camps right when they get in. So Shireen is now, she's on the red tribe, and I about lost it when she said this. I don't know if you picked up on this. It was so irritating. She was like, I am like a huge fan. I'm a strategist. I know the game inside and out. All this stuff. She's like, it's 3 white collar, 3 no collar, and there's 1 blue collar. You know what we need to do? We need to get the blue collar on our side. No shit, Shireen. Oh my God. You think you're like smart for realizing that? That is just like, that's saying the sky's blue. Like, I couldn't believe she said that, and it made me just so angered that like only a Survivor fan could know that's what you need to do.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you might have just started a new catchphrase there, Will. We got no shit Sherlock. Well, we have no shit Shireen. That's got to be like the new Survivor catchphrase here.
Wow,
No
I didn't
shit
even
Shireen.
realize the Shireen Sherlock connection there.
I
Cool.
thought you were going to say Sherlock, and then when you said Shireen, I was like, damn, we got something here. That was good. But I completely agree with you. That does not make you a super fan. What Max was doing by just listing off random facts about Leos and Capricorns and whatever the hell he was saying to Jen, that is showing off your super fandom. What Shireen said, my dog probably figured it out. I mean, my dog could probably sit there and say, hey, look, there's 3, 3, and 1. Like, come on. Like, it's not hard to figure out. Like, come on. Like, don't act like that's because you're, like, so smart and a strategist. I don't know if CBS wants to prove that she's some smart strategist instead of just an annoying character.
At all. I think they're trying to show, like, they're painting these
She's a
super
buffoon.
fans as, like, nerds and annoying, which is crazy. Like, it's they're such big fans, Max and Shireen, that they're, like, too into it almost. It's, like, too much, and they think they're so much better than everyone else. Like, Max faking having an idol, just like, like, just bad taste in my mouth. Like,
You know what it is? It's the fact that they're out there, and I feel like their dream was to be on the show. We sit here and we talk about Survivor in a podcast, sometimes for 2 hours at a time, sometimes for an hour, however long. We've been doing it once a week for a while, and we've wanted to do it for longer than that. I know everybody's name who's played the game. But if I go out there, I'm not going to go out there and tell everybody that because my goal isn't to play the game. My goal would be to win the game. Like, you have to break it up into your goals. Their goal was to get there, and now they got there, and it's like, oh, we're on the show. Let's have fun. Let's not win. Look at somebody like Jen. Jen's out there. She's out there to have a good time. She's obviously a super fan. She might not know everybody's names, but she has said that she's been watching since the beginning. She knows the game inside and out. She said it's a dream to be on the show. But she's not going around telling everybody everything that she knows about the game because she wants to win it. She's on it, now she wants to win. She achieved one goal, now achieved the other. Max and Shireen just settled, and it really did start to get irritating. I wish Shireen would have gone. I liked Max a little bit more, but Max is still annoying.
Yeah, I really wish Shireen would have gone. And she kept saying that kind of stuff, too. We'll get to another thing that she said and also hashtag no shit Shireen. Okay, then the Blue Tribe, Escapatara, who knows? It's the Blue Tribe. And Rodney tells his story again. So I love it. I love it. Someone asked him, totally normal to just say, yeah, walked in on my sister dead. Like, cool. And it was clear from the get-go, Sierra had jumped ship.
Oh, yeah, we all knew that anyway from as soon as they yelled at her, we knew she jumped ship. Yeah, back to the whole Rodney thing with his sisters. If you're going to ask, he's going to tell you. Like, why not? I mean, obviously that's why, you know, if somebody's going to ask you something like that, I mean, you have to tell them. I don't know if you have to tell them the whole story right away, maybe tell somebody later. But Rodney's a guy. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks, exactly what he wants to. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He is a likable guy. I think he just comes across as abrasive in the sense of this game. But, yeah, I mean, Sierra, there was no way she was going to stay with Mike, Dan, and Rodney. The only good thing is we knew that they weren't going to lose this challenge. As soon as that challenge showed up, we knew they weren't going to lose. So,
yeah, that's very, very true. And then back to the Red Tribe, Max and his Stingrays. He kind of got a raw deal here. It seemed like, you know, he's out in the water. Some Stingray gets him on both feet, and Jen, you know, just being a caring, good person, is like, here we have water boiling. This is what you need to do to soothe the pain. And then Haley has a confessional like, he put his feet in our drinking water with that wort. Like, so annoying. It's like Jen just offered him that water. So, I mean, I understand Max is annoying, but that was a little like, okay, give him a break. He just got stung by a stingray.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've seen John Carroll back in Marquesas. He had to get his hand peed on. And, like, when you're in pain and, like, something like that happens, the last thing you're thinking about is what is clean, what is healthy. It's just somebody make this stop hurting. And I feel like that's what Max was like. And Jen said, this is how you're going to make it stop hurting. Why are you thinking about the fact that you have a wart on your foot?
I don't think it was even Max being like, I need help right now. I need help. I'm in pain. It was like Jen offered it to him. Said, look, we have water boiling that we're going to drink, but because you're in pain, you're a member of our team, here is a way to soothe your pain. And then Haley just goes,
And I will say this, though. I doubt that that was really Haley's confessional, was just complaining about that. But since Max was going that episode, they had to show even people being more annoyed at Max, even though I doubt Haley was as annoyed. She just always comes across as kind of annoyed. You know what I mean? Like, she seems like that's just how her voice is. I mean, could she have been annoyed? Yes. I don't think
she was pretty, especially with the wart. Like, you're putting a wart in the pot that we boil water in. But at the same time, it's like it's Survivor. His foot was stung by a stingray. Not that I like.
Isn't boiling water?
Yeah, he said it was almost. It was almost boiling.
But what I'm saying is, like, and once again, not a scientist. I apologize to everyone listening right now. But wouldn't boiling water like kill most germs anyway? I don't know what the wart thing is, but wouldn't the boiling water kill that?
I mean, that's why they boil the water.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, let him put his feet in your pot and then boil the water. We're probably completely wrong.
Clean it out. Clean it out. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as annoying as Max is, he did kind of get a raw deal there. It seemed.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And then yeah, this is when they keep talking about their super fandom. This is when the Leo Capricorn thing came out. Just give it a rest already. I think we've hit on this enough. Just if you're gonna be a super fan, be a super fan and play well. Don't be a super fan and brag about being a super fan.
There's a lot of super fans on this season. It's not just Max and Shireen. I mean, from the pregame interviews, I got that a lot of these people have loved this show for a long time. They're not talking about it like that. Supposedly Tyler's wanted to be on it for a while. Dan's wanted to be on it for a while. Like, but these guys, like, they're not going to tell you everybody who's ever played the game. They're just going to say, yeah, I like the show.
Right.
Because everybody who's going to – you should know it at least a little if you're going to be on it. Like, you should like it a little bit at least.
Okay. Then we can get in now. This was a fun part of this episode, was the worst apology ever. And then it just started, there were so many great things about this. It started off with Mike and Dan just talking, and Mike saying, this is what you have to do. You have to admit you're wrong. Don't explain anything. Just say you're sorry. Admit you're wrong. You know, that's all you need to do. And then Dan is like, I'm twice your age, or not twice your age. I've been around longer than you. I've talked to so many women. Just hearing that in itself alone, it was hilarious. And then Dan goes up to Sierra, and of course he over-explains and explains, and then wants an apology in return, it seems like, trying to equate their wrongdoings, and just Sierra's like, that is, like, you're clearly just trying to apologize because you are, you know, you're worried you don't have the numbers. It was just so obvious. Terrible, terrible apology.
Well, first of all, Dan did say, I'm twice your age. I think he's 7 years older than Mike. It's just that Dan looks twice as old as Mike. Like, I think he's only like 7 years older. It's not that big of a deal. Like, but I think what it really comes down to is you have a 40-something-year-old man from Maine talking to a really, really attractive 20-something, like late 20-year-old female, and he cannot accept that he is wrong and she is right. Like, he cannot accept that because that's just not in his blood. Like, he is... You know, he is that type of guy where he cannot say, that girl is right and I am wrong. It's just not going to happen. And we all knew that he was not going to apologize, right? That's why they showed the Mike thing.
Yeah, you knew it was like going to be just, oh, Dan, this is not going to work, buddy. Just not. Someone just commented on our video saying that Rodney favorites every tweet. So...
oh, wow. We win. Well, he favorites our tweet.
I mean, he did favorite our tweet, but I guess he favorites like every tweet he's mentioned in. So I guess we shouldn't be too happy about that.
Well, we should start mentioning him more then. We'll mention him in every tweet.
Yeah, well, actually, let's not every tweet, but we can actually put the, you know, this supposed theory to test, and we can mention him in another one, see if he likes it, and then give you guys the results. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't, though.
Who broke our hearts right there? Who was that? We're going to add points to their boot list.
Peter Rubenstein.
We got to add points to his boot list.
No, but he said in the beginning of the comment, I love you guys. He says, I love you guys, but Rodney likes everything. So
okay. We'll forgive him there. All right. We were on our high horse. My night's ruined. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. The immunity challenge.
Terrible. Just stupid. Pass.
Okay. I'm okay with the physical part. Like, have the physical challenge. That's cool. But the second part of that challenge was so easy that it didn't even make for a comeback remotely possible. Like, not at all. I mean, did you see, like, that wrecking ball? It just, if it touched the pot, it fell over. Like, you did not need any aiming skills. You didn't need any force, no brains behind it. Just, if you're going to have a comeback and especially right after a tribe swap, you should prepare for worse if you're producing these challenges and say, look, we should have, part physical and then part puzzle or brain or something else, maybe memory involved, not just, he could have done that with his eyes closed, knock those
Honestly,
pots off.
Will would have been good at that challenge. That's how stupid that little end part was. Will found something he would have been good at if he got a chance there. But my biggest complaint here is
Shireen would have been good at that. Anyone would have been good at that.
I know. I mean, it's just stupid. But my thing here is, why not have the physical part? Then somebody knocks those things off, and lo and behold, in the Survivor universe, there's puzzle pieces inside. And then they go into a puzzle.
A puzzle?
I know.
Survivor?
Why don't they just do that? Because that would have made the challenge able for a comeback. Instead, you didn't get anything. There was no chance.
I don't think Dan missed once trying to throw that wrecking ball. I don't think he missed once. It was too easy. Way, way too easy.
He knocked 2 out with 1 throw. Come on.
Yeah, that challenge was not. I mean, we knew they were going to win anyway, but man, it's like, do better, Survivor. Come on, you're better than that.
Everything was better. That was the only bad part so far this whole season, other than Nina complaining.
And the collars being shoved down our throats.
Well, yeah, but now that might be over, so we might have gotten past that. Baby steps.
Okay. Yeah, the challenge kind of was lame. Anyway, so the red team goes to tribal, or this is the post-challenge, pre-tribal, and it's Shireen and Max saying they want to get Will out. Let's pull in Kelly, make sure she's good. They talk to Carolyn, make sure she's good. They got 4 out of 7. They seem like everything's going to be okay. We know Carolyn is not in with them this whole time it's going on. So we just know. And then at the end of that little let's get Will segment, everyone's good, Shireen says another thing. She says, she said, I orchestrated everything. I decided that Will should go. He's the weakest. Again, no shit, Shireen. Will is the weakest in challenges. He is such an obvious target. You didn't orchestrate anything. I hate using, they're trying to take credit for these moves pre-merge about strength. Like, just to have, are they like trying to make a resume for the jury already? Like, they're too big of fans. They're just too into it.
And the thing that bothers me about this whole thing is she just is like, I don't know. She's just dumb. Hold on. I lost my train of thought. Give me a second here. Give me a second.
It's going to be a blind side and all this, and how Will is like her target, and like she uses the word orchestrated, which just irked me to no end. Like, you just got like a couple people to agree to vote to like the obvious person you'd get out. Like, that's not orchestrating anything.
Shireen and Max, they're super fans. They're supposed to be great at this game. They didn't even realize that they weren't self-aware enough to know that Carolyn didn't like them. And then on top of that, they didn't realize that Carolyn was the one who was actually the swing vote in the whole thing. Because they probably could have gotten Kelly. But Carolyn hated them. Like, how could they not see that? They're trying to say that they're orchestrating all these big moves when they can't even see that they're getting themselves voted out right now. Like, it's happening because of themselves.
Well, kudos to Carolyn for making them think that she's, tight with them. Oh, yeah, we're sticking white collar.
Carolyn's cool.
All this. Yeah, Carolyn's got her head in the game. She's got the idol. She knows what she's doing. She's like, I'm not sticking with them. And then she says she's going to the no-collar people with Will, Jen, and Haley. And then Kelly smartly is like, yeah, I told white collar I was in, but I got to jump ship now. I mean, Carolyn just flipped, so there's no majority there. Again, Kelly, I mean, not that this was like a move by her or anything, but just good for her to, notice what was going on. And anything else before they go to tribal?
I just kind of got from the editing Max was gone. I kind of thought it was him over Shireen. I don't know. There were just like little tells. Going into that tribe, I was like, you know what? This is the end of Max. Shireen's going to hang around. I don't know. There were just little things that I noticed.
Tell me why, because I was just so infuriated with Shireen. I was like, oh my God, please go, Shireen. Please, please, please go.
I wanted Shireen to go. Maybe it was just the fact that I'm a little pessimistic, and I was like, you know what? Max is going to be the one who goes instead of Shireen. But there was just something about the way they did it where they set it up to, like, the way Max, right after the thing, said, I can't wait to finally start blindsiding people or finally playing Survivor. I'm like, you know what? That's the type of arrogance that gets you voted off right now. And yeah, Shireen was being arrogant, but I felt like they were showing Max to be so arrogant, like he was going to blindside people. And he got the confessional right after the challenge. Like, he was excited to go to tribal. that's never a good thing. That means you're done. That almost means you're done every time.
That is true, and I did realize that actually right after the challenge that he's like excited, and that did not look good for him. But Shireen was just annoying me so much. I think it overtook me, and I just wanted her to go so badly. At Tribal, some funny things happened. You know, Max calling out One World Tribe swaps. It's like, just shut up, Max. Just shut up. I don't know much we need to keep talking about how annoying these two are. And then Shireen, this is what I wanted Shireen to go to, because she was describing a blindside and why you blindside somebody. And I think it is for tribe unity, all this stuff about blindsides and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, just please have it be Shireen. It'd be so poetic for her to describe and kind of announce her own blindside right before it happened. Unfortunately, it was Max that went. Anything you got from Tribal?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Max is annoying. Shireen is annoying. I don't mind watching either of them play, to be honest with you.
I mind Shireen.
I just wish it would have been Shireen over Max.
Right.
Shireen is trying. The thing is, they both tried too hard to be in your face and try to be quirky and funny. And, oh, we love this game. We know it so well. We're going to be annoying, and we're still going to win. Like, they tried too hard. You know, Shireen, I feel like, is trying a little bit harder, and I feel like she's less self-aware, although Max is the one who went home, so what do I know? But,
see, that's the thing. And I mentioned this, first of all, the horse race comment by Jen, hilarious, love it.
Oh, yeah, we forgot that.
Jen's just killing it with these confessionals. She found the idol of the night, so go Jen, MVP candidate. But it didn't seem like a horse race at all. She kept going, It just seemed like this is, annoying is here, this is Max, and then Shireen just keeps going.
And the thing is, you would think because Max is going, they would have shown more scenes of Max being annoying, but they just kept showing more of Shireen being annoying. And, like, why? I don't think that the two of them, I don't understand why people who know the game so well would just the two of them go off in a tribe of 5 and constantly be whispering to each other while Carolyn and Kelly are sitting there talking to the Will, Jen, and Haley. Like, I just don't understand.
Yeah, and even he said, like Max said, I'm not worried at all tonight. Like,
how?
Like, you're literally talking to one person. You have one ally. There are 7 people in your tribe. Man, if I took his class, I would just feel so like I didn't learn anything. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Joaquin outlasted Max. Who the hell would have thought that when the preseason?
Will outlasted Max.
When the preseason stuff came out, who would have thought?
Not us.
We thought Max was going to be able to be smart enough to keep his mouth shut when he had to and be social enough. I mean, he just kept digging himself a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And you know what? He's gone. It makes for a cool blindside. And now this is one of those seasons where you sit there and you say, well, the first person to go was So. That was a kind of cool boot. Vince was second. That was a really cool boot. Nina was third. Okay, yeah, we weren't crazy about that. Lindsay was fourth. She's memorable. And now Max is fifth. I mean, these are memorable boots right off the bat. And it's not like we've really lost characters on this season because every time you lose one, you get more from Sierra, you get more from Kelly, you get more from somebody else. Joe didn't get a confessional tonight. And everybody still loves Joe. This is a really great cast.
Gotta love Joe. Yeah, no, this cast, we can't really say it enough. They've really provided the goods so far, 5 episodes in. I guess I have one more thing about Tribal. As Jen went to make her vote, she said she held it up to the camera and said, "Stop talking." Like, that to me was Shireen, because she kept saying Shireen wouldn't stop talking. Like,
go back and rewatch it. You can see through the parchment in CNX.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure because I thought I saw it because I was like, oh man, that said Max. At least that's what I thought. Maybe I looked too hard and I was just seeing things.
No,
I'm pretty sure I saw an X.
It was Max. We know now that it was Max. But that comment about stop talking was like Jen said about 5 times prior that Shireen's the one that talks too much and Max is just annoying by being Max. Okay, good, great 2-hour episode. Great season so far. Let's update. Unless you have anything else in the episode, you want to update the boot list scores?
I do. I just want to say one more thing. You were getting on me during the power rankings about how you knew Max was safe, and you put Max at number 3. So before we get to the boot list, let's dwell on that for a second. You put him at 3. I put him at 8. We both had Lindsay in last. We knew that was coming, but the Max one, you were pretty confident on Max. And to be honest with you, I think this might have been a very Vince-like mistake where you get rid of a really strong person. Not really strong, but way stronger than Shireen.
I mean, the thing with Max was that, okay, let's say White Collar went to Tribal, and I said this in the power rankings. You thought it would be Shireen or Joaquin. Turns out it would have been between Max and Shireen. And then on a tribe swap, you think Max would be smart enough. You just think he would be able to not just tie himself to an annoying player and just isolate himself from the entire tribe and annoy everyone with his survivor knowledge. Like, it's just bizarre how he taught this game and thought he was a good player, because it's not like he got screwed by a tribe swap. And I don't want to hear anyone say he got screwed. This was not someone getting screwed over. He had every opportunity to he just wasn't a good player. I mean, there's really not much else to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, my only question to that Red Tribe is, look at who you're up against. Why would you keep Shireen in that situation if they're both
That was another reason
annoying?
why I'm so high. It's like he's not – if you're going to get him out for a physical threat, you're not going to do that, because there are a lot. Like if Joe wound up on whatever tribe. I mean, we've seen that happen in tribe sauce. People use it. They throw a challenge to get the strongest person out. That happens. That wasn't going to happen to Max. And then you weren't going to vote him out because he was weak, so he was voted out for just being annoying. Yeah. Like that's what did him in, and it sucks to see someone who loves the game just not be able to play socially. Like the social game is what got him.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we can jump to the boot list right now. Our boot list challenge, Max was projected to be number one. After you tallied everybody's things and you averaged them out, he had an average of 4.76. He was averaged to be first place. Like the most people said he was going to get. I don't know if the most said he was going to get first.
Yeah, no, that was his
they did.
Yeah,
and then
he was the highest ranked in our boot list game.
Yeah, and then what's funny is in the same episode, Lindsay goes and she was 18th place. So we lost them both in the same episode.
Right.
But I have the top, I think it's 11 this week, because there was a three-way tie for 10th or 9th. First place is Jokesters with 8. Lauren West has 12. Sam Hellberg, Popsicle Inc., Alex Blackton have 17. Adam Klein has 18. He was in first place after the last couple weeks. Sarah Harkins has 19. Rob Kellogg has 20. And then Son of Nuo, N. Blanston, and Wilbur Dess have 21. So, I mean, there's a lot of shifting today, because that Max boot, that one hurt pretty much everybody. There was very few people.
Definitely. And I think you're at 28. I'm at 30. So we're just within a few points. This will get exciting. I mean, it's really cool, this game. I'm happy with how many entries we've got and how it's going so far.
Yeah. So because we're so close and because the power rankings, I'm only up 8, and I lost my first member today in the fantasy game. Everybody remember to vote for Kelly for MVP, because she was, after all, the MVP. But
who's
Kelly.
Phantom Tribe nominating for MVP?
I don't know, man. Phantom Tribe had a rough night.
They, let's see.
Rodney, I guess Carolyn. Carolyn would be a good one.
Yeah, you can nominate Carolyn. So it's between Carolyn, Kelly, or Jen for MVP. It's really got to go to Kelly. Unless you think that she just was in the way of the, what do you call that? Pulley system, the lift. She was in the way. She should have gone another way.
I'll give you this one. If she didn't have a blindfold on, she shouldn't be MVP. But she had a blindfold on. She had no clue what was going on. And Dan on the other side was being dumb too, and he just dropped the thing. I mean, he was just letting go. So that doesn't help.
Yeah, I hear you. Jeff was telling them so many times, though, to watch out, be careful, back away. Back away. She didn't back away. She didn't listen to Jeff.
Hey, you know what it is? You get pretty disoriented when you got a blindfold on. I mean, there's a lot, like when you move back away, you're thinking to yourself, where the hell am I?
I'm not giving her serious
I know you're not.
crap for not.
Well, I'm not giving serious defense either.
Okay. Well, hey, it sounds like you are. Anyway, I think Kelly gets MVP. So what would that lead? Let's assume Kelly gets MVP. What would the fantasy scores be?
Let me look real quick. I have it up here if I can find. I have so many freaking tabs. If Kelly were to get MVP, Phantom Tribe would be at -5. You would be at -3. And I would be at 5.
How are you at 5?
Because I had 3 points from the Tyler MVP last week, lost 1 point from Max today, and then would get 3 from Kelly.
Okay. Okay. Good job. Good job so far. I'm still pulling for. I still have Jen and Joe on my team, so I can't really complain about that.
And we're getting close to the individual times when there's going to be immunity challenges, reward challenges. You have an idol in your pocket.
Idols, yeah, I do.
So we're getting merged. So, I mean, we got plenty of stuff coming up. This is going to be fun. I'm thinking that they're probably not going to merge next week, but the week after. And this season, it's bringing it, man. I'm loving it.
I feel like we're going to get 2 more episodes, then a merge. I'll have to look, but
11 or 12. It'll be one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. Be sure to comment with your MVP votes and your predictions for episode 6. We'll be doing our episode 6 prediction podcast on either Sunday or Monday. Hopefully Sunday. We like to do that Sunday, so people can wake up Monday morning with a great prediction podcast. So then we'll read your predictions on that episode and talk about them. Or if you have questions that you want to ask us, that you want to have be brought up on the prediction episode, we'll do that too.
Yeah, and tweet at us at Phil_and_Will. Rodney loves it, so you guys have to too. If Rodney favors it, why aren't you?
Yeah, Rodney. Yeah, who cares if he likes everything? Like, he liked us too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Send us a question or something on Twitter. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.